guys, what's happening? Drew's Farming Life back again today with another video. Hope you enjoy. Today I am cleaning the pit. You can see it's clean now, because we are getting this tarmacked at some point soon, hopefully. They're just going to turn up out the blue, so it was better ready, and because the ground's not able to be worked, we were just thinking we better get on with it. And we're having to mix the reed up because they are full, so I'll need to go and soak all the slurry out of there. So it's about 6 or 8 loads per side. I believe it's about 6, it used to be 8, but with the 300 gallon tanker it doesn't take as much. What we use to hose the pit is this old fuel line from one of the oil boys, you know, the diesel and that, and we attach it onto the rain gun, and then we've got a nice bit of brass or copper, whatever it is, hammered in to make a nice jet, and then it cleans it all. It's just because the wires are starting to show and the pit's starting to crack, which is no use, and it'll help make better silage, having a better base to start off with. Far easier clean with a bucket as well. So needed the hose to lift it all, clean all the stones out, and that will give it a nice clean start with the tarmac. So I'm going to go and get the tanker up to the reed and start soaking some slurry out. The 35's up there mixing, and that means that it will come out all nicely rather than all thick, and then you don't get it all. So that's the idea behind it. It's got a wee paddle on it. I'm sure you have seen some of the videos like that before. So, aye. Right, need to move the 135 out the way. Cattle are roaring. Dad's mixing in there, you can hear it ripping away. Use this to feed the reed if you're new here. This is all you can use to get in there because it's so tight, as you can see. Really old sheds, a slatted tank. I think it's a 3-foot slatted tank. There's two, one in this section and then another on the other side. What? last time done a video on the reed getting mixed and soaked out, there was a few comments saying that livestock shouldn't be in the shed and we shouldn't be in the shed. Yeah, right, but we can't do anything about it. That's the way the shed's set up. There's not that much slurry in there that is going to cause that much bother. So say 6 times 2, so that's 12,000 gallons of slurry, or just, you know, 15,000 gallons of slurry, maybe more, maybe a wee bit more than that, per side, and 3 foot. And you've got to mix with that paddle, and you have to go down and down and down with that wee 35. How else are you going to mix it? That's the only way to mix them, and you have to be in there. It's an old shed, it's never caused any bother, it seems to be well ventilated enough, and nothing's ever went wrong. I know that there is instances when it's never went wrong yet, but honestly none has happened, but we are looking to change it. That's just the way we have to do it, unfortunately, but we are looking to change it eventually, so hopefully in the future it'll not be there and they'll be in straw beds, but that's going to be a big investment further down the line. Hoping for a couple of big sheds in the future, but time will tell if we can do it or not. That's just the way it is. So right now I need to reverse this big 70/40. I've made a knob of it already, so I drive it far a wee bit, sling it into reverse. Right, let's get it nice and close. Does anyone want a grain tower? Because we're needing rid of that one. We don't need it. We've got our 2 crimp bits for the barley. So I sling it in tight here against this right old lean-to on the old stable shed. There we go, slinging it round. Straighten it up. Get a wee swatch round. Quite tight here. Could have done this a little bit better, but as always, as soon as you bring the camera out, you always make a mess of it. Right, there we go. Slinging it in here, like that. Get a good angle on it, so it's easy to hitch the pipe up. Perfect position now. Get it vacuumed up. So got this. I've seen was lying about. It's not a chain, but at least it'll stop the PTO spinning like hell. that the right way anyway. That's perfect, good. Right. Right. The problem at the moment is the ground is far too wet, so I'm moving the slurry from here and putting it in the main tank, and then well, moving 2 loads out of here into the main tank and then 2 loads out the other side, and then on a dry day that's coming up shortly, there's going to be a few dry days of slurry in a row, and we're hopefully going to get it out rather than putting it down the slats and then having to soak it out the slats again and then spread it in the field. So this will mean that this is going straight out, so we're only putting 2 loads out of there, and then the rest another day going straight outside. So that's the way we're going to do it today. Right, that's the first load done. I'll give you a rundown of what's in there at the moment and what's to come with what's on the slats. So aye, just using the big yoke, just because it's what was on the tanker. Beautiful big wheels. Been a lot of comments about why we've got such big tractors, and well, you know, they're like, oh, we've got a 120 horse tractor on a 2,000 or a 2,500 gallon tanker, you know, which is fair enough, like, but the thing is, well, we could get away with it, we have done in the past, but with the big tractors going up and down the hills over here, especially when it's wet, these hold their ground far better than a little tractor ever did, and it means we're set up for, in the future, when we do get bigger kit to go along with these tractors. Like, already we do have some stuff for the big tractors, but in the future it does mean that we are able to improve, invest and get better stuff. So this one, yes, it is 250 horse before it boosts in 300, but that was unexpected and we didn't know it was remapped, which is just one of those little things. Like, we don't have anything that's going to overpower the machine and make it blow up, which is a good thing. No, but it just means we're going to enjoy the hell out of how well this thing pulls in, and we've got, it's just a train, it doesn't stop. Open the window so you can see better, eh? As I was saying earlier, the other reason we're actually doing this today and soaking it out of there, you might be thinking, why don't you wait till it's dry? The slats on there are quite full, and we're not really wanting it to get to the point of overflowing, and it's better done today while we can't get on with the groundwork. So get it mixed, move some slurry around, and if it doesn't come dry enough for it, we're not stuffed. And then having to move it another day and remix it. So when it does come dry enough, we are ready to go, but the thing is, the ground might not dry out as much as we think, so we're better moving these 2 loads out of each side and being set up for the just in case measures that it might rain again. Which is quite often here in Scotland. It can rain an awful lot. So basically all I'm doing is moving that and putting it in that pipe there out the main tank into the slats here. Good thing about these slats is if they do get full, we can fire it straight into the slurry tower up the back. So I'll hook this pipe up and then we'll walk up the cattle in the slats, and we'll give you a wee look at them. Some nice wee heifers that are coming through, ready for the bull. Yeah. So I've got the tanker in the middle there. That means that the slurry's free to move. So I'll just let it run out. There you go. You can hear the air rushing into the tanker there. So these are the next batch of heifers. This Limmy has jumped the gate over there, in here. But basically all of these heifers are ready for the bull. Quite a lot of these will be sex semen. I don't really have that many Holstein bull calves at the moment because I'm using sex semen, and which is in turn meaning we're ending up with quite a few limmies. Some Anguses, but mostly limmies at the moment, and this means that we get a better well, meat quality at the end of the day when we fatten them up and put them away to the abattoir, because you get far better pence per kilo for a beef breed than you do a Holstein. The difference is it's a few £100 really, but definitely worth doing the sex semen thing, because then you're getting better quality beef at the end of the day. And sex semen, generally when it's been through that separating process, apparently you end up with better semen, so which is resulting in nice cattle. These are the dry cows. Some wee heifer there. There's just future heifers coming in. They come in here to learn the cubicles, and then as we see them poking up, we'll put them into the parlour and they'll learn the parlour, and then they will calve and then they'll start milking. So that's a rundown of what's happening here. I think that sounds about empty. I'll maybe just put it on blow just to make sure, and then I'll go move the pipe to the next side, and yeah, that's basically what I'm doing today. So far I'm hoping to get the plough going later, because you can do that, well, hopefully you can do that when the ground's like this. 5 seconds, not 3. That means the PTO stays on. Right, definitely empty. Bubbling away there. Switch to vacuum. Yep. So yep, that's what I'm doing. Just I forgot what I was saying there. No, hopefully I'll get back to the plough. When I was on about maybe trying the grass field up the top there, when I got the tractor bogged, I thought that I might have been able to get going in the grass, but no, that was a massive fail. Just went in, drove it down the hill. As soon as I started trying to come back up, the ground was just far too wet. Just was absolutely no use whatsoever. So now I need to reverse right down to the far end and soak out 2 loads in there, and then that'll be me, and then I'll try the plough and see if I can get that going, because everything's really needing done at once. Because shortly after all this, well, the rolling's needing done as well, the sowing's needing done, the last of the slurry's needing done. It's all just it's all building up with the way the weather is, but I'd like to think we are ahead, because this is Scotland and it's just the way it goes. But just one of the things, you try and get ahead, you get held back, and then you end up in the same place as you were the year before. Rushing. But I'll get to the rolling pretty soon, and we'll get the sowing done in no time at all. Once you get going with the sowing, it generally doesn't take that long if you just keep hammering away at it when the weather's good. past the first bit into the second bit. Yeah. Not so bad. Right, see what Fair's want to do. He might actually want to fling the heifers back across. Not heifers, calves, cattle. Good, it sound like he's finished mixing. Right, that's the cattle all back. After I've shook these two loads out, we can feed in here. This side was the worst side for being full. Quite full, as you can see. Right, do not touch. No, leave it. I don't think they're going to listen. What do you think? Get that down there. Good. Right. I should have said earlier, so basically, these guys are getting the bull. So all first time heifers, you know, all heifers get served by the bull, and that's their first calving is through the bull. And then once they're in the main lot, they all get done by AI. So that's what we do. Just to clarify that, I forgot to say earlier. So we've got two bulls at the moment. We've got a right young Friesian bull, and we've got an older bull, Big Bruce. He's a Holstein. He's not a very nice character. He's just getting older and a bit angrier, just as they do. So we're hoping to get rid of him pretty soon. His heifers are coming round, not this year, but next year, I think. So hopefully get rid of him soon, and the young bull will be just getting old enough to start getting some fun with some of the young heifers. He's just a bit small at the moment, but he's nearly there. Sooner the better. Just need to see how he goes, but basically that's how the young heifers get their first go with the bull, and then after that AI, and then that just, well, that's just the way we do it. It's easier, we don't need to check these all the time and AI them. The bull does it all, and then the main lot, it's just safer not having a bull in the main lot, and we get to select what breed we're using. It improves our breed. We aim for longevity and you know, just better feet, good teat placement, nice strong cows that'll last a while. We don't push them, that's why there's a wee bit of Friesian through them, and that's why they last longer. Like they are Holsteins, but there is a wee bit of Friesian through them. This is a young heifer here. You can see there's a wee bit of fat through them, and That's what makes them good condition. Then that means that when we do cross with the beef, it makes a better beef breed at the end of the day as well, because they fatten better because there's a wee bit of freezing through them. So that's just what we do for our breeding. So that's this load now empty, so one more and then I'll be in the 135 feeding the reed. You're getting fed shortly, be quiet. Right, get out of there. Done. Just need to feed these guys now. And aye. Right, just brought the Manitou down to the pit, so I'm just going to go up and get the 135 to fill up and then feed. So this is what I meant earlier by this pit being tarmacked and the other one not. It's very easy scraped up. It's a wee bit dirty at the moment with just scraps off of falling off the wagon, but in general, as soon as you're out of the area, you just scrape it back to the pit and then, you know, cleans up very easy. And it's very easy to dump loads of feeding in here to pick up with the buckets and put in our concentrate sheds over there, because you can't get an Arctic tipped in there or a blower. So we dump it here, nice clean pit, and scoop it up, place it in that shed, and if this pit's full, we'll dump it in front of the crimp pit shed. But that's not as ideal as this. This cleans up very nicely with a bucket, like so much so to sometimes we don't even need to sweep it. Just shovel a wee bit in against the wall into the bucket. Seen a few comments about the fact that we've got two feed wagons. You know, we've got two feed wagon tractors. Well, this tractor goes on the bedder during the summer and then gets put on the rake later on, and then this is the main feed wagon tractor in the summer, and it gets put on this wagon because it's a really good wagon, really good augers, because it got reflighted not that long ago. This wagon, it's not as good a mixer. Some of the augers are a wee bit flat with wear and age. It's actually needing done up, really, to be honest. But this tractor gets put on it because it's a lot less pressure. It gets all the younger stock feedings, so there's not much weight going in that thing, and it doesn't need to be as specific a blend because it's getting fed to young stock. So generally that just gets silage and barley, and that's it. This gets all the blend. So this tractor gets put on it and it's big mixes, and it makes a big difference to the blend of the feeding. But that's not the reason we've got the two. Basically, during the winter we've got a lot to feed. If you've not noticed, we have a lot of cattle because we keep all the bullocks. So when we're feeding, me and Dad both get feeding, and we get the feeding done far quicker. But this wagon's specifically for the main lot, and then if Dad's feeding in the other one or I'm feeding in the other one, we can fill this one up too and just keep going and get them all fed, because sometimes you can be feeding 9 loads. It just depends how it all works out. So right, that's my spiel about that done. So I'm gonna go get the 135, everybody's favourite, and bring it down, fill it up and feed it through the reed. I'm hoping soon, well, it is coming up, the cattle are going to be going out soon, and then that'll take the pressure off the silage pits, and everything else, take the pressure off us, and then we can really horse on with the field work without having to feed as many cows. It's just one of the things. So, hey, let's get this thing going. Just put a couple of buckets of silage in on top of this. It's an old dung spreader conversion. Well, it was designed specifically for what we're using it for, but it is essentially an old dung spreader design, and then that box gets put in the back of it. It goes through the beaters, mixes it up, and then it comes out the V at the back, and then that spreads the silage between the two lots in the shed. It's far better than going in with a wee tractor, dumping a bale and then having to grape it out. Everyone will know what forking a bale out's like. This just mushes it all up and then spreads it out, the two V's either side. Makes things so much easier. Then you just fork it in the next day, and it's far easier to work with that way. Not a very specific amount, just enough to cover the top of barley. I can feed a bigger load, but this side there's not as many cattle in, and the other side get a bigger load, so give them too much, they'll not eat it, it'll start heating, it'll go off. So this amount's just about perfect for this side, and then the silage will keep. So that's basically all the barley I'll put on that. Right, let's get this thing up there and feeding. This is basically one of the only reasons, well, one of the main reasons for having the tractor. It's just so tight. The steering circle on 135 is amazing. Like, just in and no more, like. Throwing it at you when you finish right enough, that's the only bother. Right, I hope that keeps them quiet for a while. Hope you all enjoyed today's video. This is Drew's Farming Life, and I hope to see you all again soon. This is what I've been up to. It's been a busy day. I'm away to try my plough now. Got to get this plough going. Just, as we'll see soon. Dad's got a seeder to show you, so we'll see how it works. Right, see you soon.